About in yesterday's session is what project we are going to do, right? How it works in e-commerce application, the role of product management system application. In case if you are a seller, if you have warehouses across the country, and if you want to sell your products in e-commerce, instead of using e-commerce applications to upload your products data, you can maintain your products information into a separate application. From there, you can publish your data to e-commerce. So that's how you can minimize your work. You can easily able to sell any number of thousands of products via e-commerce application, and you can get good revenue out of it. So through this application, you can able to maintain your each product details and beautiful images, audios, videos, whichever you require, and the same content you can publish to the e-commerce. So e-commerce side, they will validate your product data. If that is good, if that is meeting to real-time prices, and whoever is selling it, this item is having good price ranges and everything is good, then they will publish it. Otherwise, the loss also I explained, right? In case if they sell for very low price, many number of people will hit that website and they will see the good revenue loss if thousands of people hits at a time. Right? Intentionally, if any seller do that, e-commerce people will see the loss. In a similar way, if they sell for very high price, seller if they sell for very high price, so their branding or their name also they lose. So some kind of check required before allowing this product management. Here, Naveen is a seller. He is trying to sell iPhone. So during he publishing his iPhone into e-commerce system should verify whether he is selling it for real-time prices or not, whether that is matching with other e-commerce websites prices or not, is it in a good range price or not. If it is not, then they will reject that product. They will say, Naveen, your product is not meeting real-time market prices. Please verify and publish again. So they will again check the price. Okay, they will feel that, okay, this is very high price. My e-commerce is not allowing. Then they will change the prices and they'll publish it. Anyway, we are not going to look this right side section. So coming to here, this product management system. Okay, we will develop and we will see the process for any product or project, right? We will see the process, in which process we need to start it to make it successful product or a project, finally to deliver it in a successful way. Okay, so I created one sample application. I just want to run this for you. Not this one. This is also fine, but let me. I just imported one project, my app, and which is running in 9090, connected with MySQL database, and asking to HVM to DDL update, which means if table's not there, it will create the table. Let me run this application quickly. So application is started. in 9090. Let me visit 9090 and see localhost 9090. Okay, 404 not found, still fine. Something glitch. Yeah, bus admin app. I'll take run this. Is it started? Yeah, started in 5003. Let me open this port number 5003. Okay, so we got one UI here. I'll explain you about it. Okay, this is also useful. Okay, if you are part of microservices development to deliver your services in quick turnaround within minutes of time, you can deliver your microservices. Many not aware of this tool, so let's see the beauty of it. Okay, so here you see the code. I created this application basically for creating source cities and destination cities. So source city, when I click on source city, one source city screen is coming with the create option. We can edit it also. Edit option, back to list option, delete option. Same way destination cities. Create option, let's say Pune MH. So we can able to add city, we can edit it. So here, if you see these two screens and these buttons, this edit or delete options, or the entire application code, I'll show you. Here, this is the application. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 packages. Out of 9 packages, some controllers. If you see, this application is a pure web application. This is pure web application. Because within your app itself, you are seeing UI also. But in basically microservices, we create only backend. Front end stuff, we don't create. So if you want only backend services, here in this application, we have both. Right, using Spring Boot, you can build web application as well as same application you can treat for microservice also. Rarely we see such use cases. One application behaves in a both ways. In case if you want, you have possibility to do that. Okay, so here this application is built like a web app and microservice app. So it have two types of controllers. One is within application, whatever web you implemented, right? For your web, controllers are there. For microservices, REST controllers also there. Both are added in this application. Okay, for web app controllers and web pages are there. Your JSP pages and HTML. For microservices REST controllers, clients will be different clients, not your HTML. Client can be from Postman, you can hit from any other application, other app will call. Okay, other application also can call it, whereas your controller can hit by your front end pages. Okay, so all that code is implemented, and this complete code is auto generated. End-to-end code is auto generated, complete code. You see how many classes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You can put on 5, 26, 27, 8, 29, 30, 31, 32. Around 32 classes is automatically generated. And two files also, two property files also generated here. One application properties file. And to maintain your label names dynamically, generally we hard code labels and all right in front end. To maintain them dynamically, one configuration file also given. Let's say this button name, if you want to change, you feel that this is not looking good, create new source city. They give an option to you to change it also. And in this application properties file, they will provide you default properties. Just you need to change your database URL, username, passwords. That's it. Only 1, 2, 3 lines of code you need to add, so that it generated the remaining entire code which I am using now. This entire code is auto generated. So who generated it and what is the use of it? During your microservices development, let's say we will take our product management system. Anyway, we can code it or you may generate it. So while designing your microservices in real time, they will provide you entities, right? First, we identify what are all the use cases we have, and then we will create tables, categories, brands, as we discussed. We will create brands and categories, items, and their images related tables. All tables we create, right? Then for each table, we will implement a controller class, service class, DO class, and one entity class. We map this to table. This is how we implement, right? From our Java code or Spring Boot code. So that entire code is auto-generated here. Why I am referring it here is when you have quick requirements to deliver your microservices, right? In a quick turnaround, you can generate your code, though you have 10 tables or 20 tables. So for each microservice, consider you have 5 tables. You need not to worry about your tables, controllers, and exception handling while implementing here. So while implementing, what all things you will take care, you will create entity class, 5 entity classes you create if you code it, and you will create 5 REST controller classes, and you will create exception handlers, one global exception handler maybe, one global exception handler class you will create, 5 service classes you will create. And in case if entities, if you don't want exposed to the clients, you may create again 5 DTO classes, data transfer objects, to hide your entities. Via DTOs, you may get the information. So like this many classes you are going to implement on your own. Of course, you can do that. You will be capable. But to do this, at least it will take days of time, multiple days. And unit testing, you need to write 5 unit test classes, 5, or altogether you have 5, 5, 15, 16, and 21 unit test classes you need to write. You need to do all this stuff. Here I'll show you this tool. Use this Bootify when you have such requirements. In this Bootify, what you can do, go to this Bootify URL, click on open project, start new project, put your required package name for your microservice. Generally, what you people will use to generate a Spring project? How you people generate Spring project? Spring Boot? You know, right? You people will use starter IO,
Initializer.
right? Usually we people use this, right? Or STS we will use. If STS is not allowed, we go to the starter IO. Here we choose to generate the Spring Boot project. So we will not develop it from very scratch like, normal web applications. When it comes to Spring Boot app, we generate basically default structure, default form file and required dependencies. We add our required package name and required Java version and the required dependencies we do add here. And finally, we click on generate a project. So it will generate and download a project structure, just a project structure with a form file. Only one file will be provided. One properties file will be provided. Whereas in this Bootify, same thing. It looks like IO only. So same thing you can apply here. Go to Bootify, com.rbu, put your project title, something like here we are painting product management system. So you want it in Maven or Gradle, and which language you want. Do you want to use Lombok? Right? The use of Lombok without, getters and setters, you can put at the rate data, at the rate setter method, at the rate getter methods, right? Lombok annotations if you want to use. Do you want to front end? In case if you want for quick testing, right? You may include this. And which database you are going to use, MySQL or Oracle, MongoDB. Choose your required database and what technique you want to use to generate the database tables. Hibernate. Hibernate auto DDL options, right? HBM to DDL update. It can create table, it can alter the table. And during the tables creation, you want to add by default date created, date updated. Generally for every entity, right? People who wants to understand who created that record and who updated, when created, when updated, they used to add these parameters. In case if you want to add it, and you want to maintain your application properties in ML or YML file or properties, choose your required one. And is your application packages should be look like technical or domain driven? Choose whatever option you want. And you want Swagger, you can choose. And here they are strictly saying Java 17. Okay, latest version music. And other required dependencies. I need an actuator. You may add it. Then click on setup entities. It will ask you what kind of tables you want. So as we understand, right, for our product management system application, we may need these tables, right? One brand table, categories table, categories, brands, items, category table, brands table, in each brand items table. Each table will have properties. Primary key is mandate. So in each table, one primary key column is required as per DB normalization. Right? During tables creation, one primary key is mandatory for every record in a table. So primary key column is mandatory. Without primary key, Java side Hibernate will not allow you to put tables. Strictly Hibernate will follow. Hibernate and JPA will follow this mechanism. Of course, this is the good practice also. Tables should not, you should not create tables without primary keys. In case if you go to your SQL and try to create, they'll allow you, but you should not do that. Primary key is mandatory as per first normal form, right? We should have a primary key compulsory. Okay, then the required composition or the required properties you want. So category name, what kind of category is, and what is the description for that category. And we selected created date, created time to understand, right, who created this category, when created date or time, and created by. Same way, updated time, updated date, updated time also you can add. Similar way for all tables, all the required brand name, brand details. Similarly, item name, item color, price, description. Is there any offers? So items will have so many properties. What you need to do, you have to go here and add your table name, categories. This is the table I want. Categories, good. Do you want REST implementation for it? Of course, we are developing microservice. You need to choose it. And this is not required basically, but if you want front end, if you are curious to see, add front end and what kind of columns you want. As we understand that ID is mandatory, even this application also made it mandatory. One primary key column is suggesting us. Of course, we need this primary key, so I added it. Then category name, you want, is it a required field to apply validations? So if you choose required, it will apply validations in your code. I'll show you that detailed code. Okay, name is added. I want one more field, description, string data type. Is it legal tool? If you ask me, I can't tell you is it legal or not, but to generate your code in a quick turnaround, if you have any, when you feel you don't have much time, you need to deliver it in a quick time, you want to focus, you know other things, security part and the remaining parts only you want to focus. The remaining code is always same when you see any domain or any technology, right? If you learn one CRUD operation, how to create a controller to store one object data, if you learn one scenario, you can do it same for all the scenarios. So here that is what they realized and given this tool. This tool agenda is why developer need to spend lot of time to generate the similar kind of code. Let me generate it for you. So just click on download. You will be getting one app here. You will be getting one app here. Just to extract this app. As I said, right? See, same project form file it will create. You can see all the dependencies, whichever it added. You can see Spring Boot version 3 it is using and what dependencies it added. You check whether legal dependencies added or not. Spring Web dependency added, Spring Boot validations added, Spring Boot data JPA added, and to connect with MySQL, one MySQL connector is added, and a theme leaf, Spring Boot library only. What else it added? All Spring Docs added, Actuator added, Lombok added, DevTools. That's it. All legal jar files only it added. And which Java version it is proposing? Java 17, which is also legal. If you don't want this version, if you want to downgrade, you can downgrade it here. You can change it to 8 or 9 or 11. But what you need to ensure is remaining Spring Boot versions also you need to change. This 3 version may not support Java 8. So you may need to downgrade it to 2.7 or something, legal version. That's it. Okay. So now this is fine. Form file is generated. And if you go to source, main, resources, here it generated one application properties file with the default configurations. We don't see such configuration while generating project from Spring IO, but here it is given. Just you need to change this driver URL, username, password. That's it. And this properties is file is for maintaining your label names in the UI. If it is a REST application, you need not to care about it. And statics, some JavaScript added here, some CSS files added, images added. This is for own front end. It is having its own front end, right, for that one. And if you go to Java part, it is generated lot of classes here. One application main method class, where you have basically your main method. Spring Boot application. And you have util, services, rest, repose models. Let's see models. We asked for one category only. Go to domain. Here is your categories. This is what I entered in the UI. So it is generated one categories class. You guys able to see this? Is it visible? Or let me zoom. So I entered categories name, one ID, name, description, and I choose to generate created date, created time, right? Both it brought here. And if you see, one entity annotation is added. You know, right? Entity must be added on top of your beam to map this to table. Entity listener, just for auditing, it is added. Getters and
Hello.
setters. Yeah,
How this date created and last updated added? Because we haven't added that.
we haven't added, but here we choose, if you remember, during this entity creation, right? Here, last option, not here. While creating, somewhere we choose general. Yeah, here we added add date created, date updated to entities, which means all entities. It is showing date created, last date updated are added to each entity. Two fields with type, offset date time, data type, it will be added. So we choose it. I selected it. That's why it is generated. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. See the beauty of the tool. Nothing we have done apart from adding these three columns remain complete code. Generally, here we start. Generally, now for this product management system, here we start. Category entity we create. You need to, do lot of research. If you don't know what is entity, if you know technically, quickly you will create it. Then ID you need to add column mapping and generated value strategy. Then again, remaining columns, if they are not nullable, you need to make them false. This complete stuff you need to do. Okay, 2 hours or 1 hour time for this one. After that, after entity, you need to go entity created. Then immediately repos we create, right? Categories repo. That is also generated. Public interface repository extending from JPA repository. Categories is my entity and this is the primary key. Okay, this one also generated. Nothing to do with this. So then service. Is there service implemented? Yes. One category service implemented. One category service with the service annotation good. And if you see default constructor injection, it is used. So it will be automatically auto wired. Constructor injection is auto wired default. And they used final parameters also to avoid modifications. So see, good practices also they are following here. Generally, I used to write private categories at the rate auto-wired on top of it, but they are mentioning it finally. Whichever is auto-wired, you should not modify it. If I insert a engine into car should not modify the engine. It should utilize. So a repository injected into service, it should not modify this entity. If it is a final, that you cannot do. You just use it. You can't modify it. You can't nullify it. You can't do anything with it. You can just use it. So it by default generated method C. Find all one generated. Only get one record generated. And create option, update option, delete option, all methods created. And if you see here, it is using one DTO class. We created entity only. Why DTD generated? One DTD also generated to save your entity. For end users or for front end users or third party clients, it will share your data via DTO only. Remaining sensitive information, who created, when created, it is not sharing it with you. Categories DTO sharing the required information only. So this DTO will help us to exchange the data to front-end teams. So this DTO also generated. So your service is generated, DAO generated, DTO generated. Then what about controller? Go to REST. One category is resource, which is your API class. It is generated with the @REST controller request mapping API categories. And here it is auto-wired your service. DAO auto-wired into service, service auto-wired into your controller. And get mapping to get record, post mapping to create records. See multiple methods created here. Put mapping, delete mapping. Create record, update record, delete record, select one record, select all records. All methods automatically generated with a beautiful response codes, with the response entity. And while sending data post mapping, right, while creating @valid annotation also used to validate your entity. So that validations applied in DTO. If we visit DTO, we can see validations. In DTO, validations applied. So for that, valid used. And if there are any exceptions also, it is not skipping them. So to handle exceptions here, they implemented exception handler also. Not found exception. If records not found, they created one not found exception class where they used it. Where is the exception handler? Under config, REST exception handler. One global exception handler also created. For REST controller exception handling, generally people will say we created global handler with controller advice. For REST scenarios, we need to use REST controller advice. Okay, and we are annotating here strictly it is for REST controller. And if you see exception handling methods, you have here exception handler. When record is not found, it will execute automatically. So beautiful error messages they are composing and sending it to the user. So this complete code is generated. If you are not aware of all these techniques, you may not generate them or you may not create them even if you write the code also like this much beautiful. Okay, so why I'm showing it for you is it's a it will help you, though you continue here or not. But while doing your microservices development, if you feel that I will struck if I start my own, go with it and use it. It is free. They give a licensed version also. If you are interested, you can buy. Okay, but really it is we blessed if you try to use this. I don't think for other, maybe in Node.js also they might have similar tools, but whoever is coding always hard coding or coding on your own from beginning to ending, try to use these tools to save the time. Maybe if you give timelines to do this microservice for 10 days, you may spend 1 day to finish it completely testing and you can relax. That buffer, you can utilize for your learning or upgrading any new things. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts so far? Basically, this is not part of our project management system, but for quick reference, while design our microservices, right? I'll show you completely the coding practice how we do, but it's not really makes sense if you spend complete time on coding. Okay, lot of things as we have this quick code generation tools also I'll show you. Any doubts? So tomorrow also this session will continue. few are there, paid students are there, and they are also continuing with us. So by Monday, you people also get the direct link, not this uh, Zoom link. You will get the uh, Google Drive, GoToMeeting one. So their daily recorded videos also will be shared with you. Yeah, go ahead if you have any question. Yes, somebody asking something?
Sir,
Ah, sure.
after this 2 days classes, the time will be like before 6:30 or the same time 7:30.
We will ask everyone because for me also it is very difficult to wake up around 6:30 because nights it is going up to 11:30, 12. I'm finishing my assignments. We will see. Okay.
Okay, sir. If
Maybe
for
half an hour I'll
every,
adjust if you have really problem with the timings, right? I'll try to adjust it maybe half an hour before, half an hour after, like that.
okay,
Okay. Because
okay,
I
sir. If
don't want, with very less participations, I can't continue this for 2 months. So that's why, to avoid that, I have uh, considered, okay, let's put one more batch so that I can able to bring more people and continue.
okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you have any questions? Aditya, Amit, Nadia, Sai, Rajesh, Shravani, B.3. Yeah.
Sir, same like the for me that Google Docs link was not working for me.
You are not able to open that.
Yeah, not able to open that.
Let me check it. This is the link, right? This is the link. Ankit, so for old students, there's of people asking me to upload screenshot of. Okay, I will talk, Ankit. Okay, I'll talk to them. Yeah. So these recordings will be uploaded into YouTube. Maybe whatever email you received, right? There you can see on YouTube link also demo videos. This is how you will receive a link. There you can see demos. These are the just 6 days before demos links. Now fresh link, right? Yesterday's one and today's one will be uploaded into, uh, I mean, new link. You will receive it. Okay. Yeah. So guys, we'll meet tomorrow. Okay. Till then, good day, guys. If you don't have any questions, we'll close. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.